Let's talk a little bit about how we spray, and this will help you understand a little bit more about injector diagnosis, all right? At the top of that picture of that electromagnetic solenoid type of injector, you see a traditional coil, just like you'd see in a gas injection injector, and that coil is going to be turned on. In this case, of all these common rail systems, some voltage way above 12 volts, 48, 60, 100, whatever. That voltage is going to be applied and pull that little solenoid valve up. As it does so, it's going to allow that little check ball to move up with it, because underneath that check ball, as you see coming in from the right side of your screen where it says high pressure connection, that's the inlet in the side of the injector for the high pressure fuel. So as a high pressure fuel is applied to both the top and the bottom of the main injector pintle, if you will, or the servo piston sometimes it's called, or the nozzle, what's going to happen is you're going to have that piston want to stay at center, at rest. But when you exhaust that high pressure fuel on the top of that piston, because you've allowed that little check ball to come off seat, the area that's in white to the left and the right of that ball bearing, that little check ball you see right there, that's going to be flooded with fuel, and it's going to go out the outlet of the injector. That's the return line of the injector. So remember I said for the gas guys watching this, you know, hey, you've got a return line on some of the gasoline systems, you know, your sequential injection system, return line on the rail. This is not like that. Although it is a return line, this is exhausting that engine fuel, the diesel fuel, out of that injector, so that we have an imbalance now. We have low pressure, there's no more fuel, it's expanding out right below that check valve thanks to the solenoid turning on and pulling up, and now we have low pressure on the top of that piston, high pressure on the bottom of that piston. So which way is that piston going to want to go? It's going to want to go up because there's a spring underneath it anyways, and that's going to allow the actual nozzle to unseat, and the fuel will spray out the outlets in the bottom of the injector. And these are super fine tolerances, and as we go into this program on some do's and don'ts, you're going to want to make notes and be a little bit more careful, if you're not already, with all kinds of contamination issues, both on handling the injectors and installing them in the engines. But that's essentially how an electromagnetic solenoid injector works.